folks, welcome to the channel and thanks for joining me. Now, darts come in all sorts of flavours and I've featured quite a few of them on this very channel in fact. So for example, we've got plain non-fussy traditional knurled brass darts. We've also got darts that are made of some kind of nondescript metal that are plated to give them the quote tungsten look barrels just there. Do check those videos out as well, by the way. We've also got brass darts that have been coloured, painted and otherwise plated in colours to kind of make them look a little bit more expensive or a bit more like the players that are endorsing them, their kind of darts. And then even if we move on to, you know, what you might call a traditional dart, here's the littler Gen 1s here, and they've got a PVD coating on them. They're tungsten but black coated. And they all have one thing in common really, and that is that they are brass or tungsten and they have a vapor deposition finish or some kind of paint or something on them. But here's a weird thing. Have you ever seen these rubberized darts from Unicorn? So these are brass darts but they've got a rubber grip instead of paint or a PVD coating or anything like that. And I saw these recently and I had a bit of a throw just before we changed our board in fact, and I wanted to kind of I guess share the pros and cons of them in case you've not come across them before. So as I say, rubberized, I mean, I was really intrigued by what does that mean, you know, how kind of soft are they, what's the grip going to be like, are they slippy, you know, how do they throw, how do they feel and all that kind of thing. So I've just taken the liberty of pre-opening the box a little bit just to help us on our way. And in no particular order, this does come with a checkout card there, so that's quite handy. And by the way, I didn't pay much for these, maybe £10 or £12, and I think you can even get them on sale at the moment for less than £9 here in the UK at least. So what a bargain. So let's have a look then. And inside the box we have got, as I say, the 3 darts just here. Now you get the barrels with fixed points, which we'll come back to in a minute. You've got the Unicorn stems and indeed the flights on the rear as well. Now I didn't throw them with the original flights and stems on, even though these aren't expensive. I wanted to keep the original set for the collection, so what I did is I've already had a throw of these and I just replaced the stems and flights with various other versions just to try them. And these particular ones are in a 23 gram, so for a brass dart that does make them fairly hefty compared to tungsten obviously. And they come with a fixed silver point, plain silver smooth point. And yeah, the problem with these is that the point can't be changed. Now normally that might not be such an issue, but unfortunately there's a massive step. They're almost sort of square where the barrel's cut off at the bottom, and then this little point just goes into there. Don't know if you'll see that. And the problem is we're getting an awful lot of catches and bounce out with these. Now it is kind of like a bit of a spoiler alert, but it was kind of what made me, I guess, put the video out, to be honest. I'd thrown these, I'd had a few goes with them, desperately trying to like them. And I had the footage there and thought, you know what, I'll just do a quick sort of show and tell really. So it's kind of a, I'll try and be fair and balanced about it. So they say rubberized, and obviously that's the, you know, the big headline on these, but they don't feel like soft rubber. It's more of a kind of plastic coating, if you can imagine such a thing. And what you've got is kind of ring cuts on the front towards the middle, and then some more towards the rear with a smooth section right in the middle, a smooth tip. I don't want to call it a bullnose because it doesn't really round off, it's quite square, and then there's a smooth taper towards the actual tail end there where the stem goes. And in terms of grippiness, they're not that grippy. You can feel the texture on them, but when you throw them, yeah, they're not a sticky rubber, they're quite a harder rubber, almost on the plastic side. So they're not what you would call a grippy dart in that respect. And what can I tell you? Well, it's a shame. I really wanted to like these, and I'm just having a look actually as I talk to you now. These darts were I don't know, maybe £10, something like that. And they were consistent enough to get, you know, for example, I scored a 180 with those. Last week's video with these cheapy little like 12 or £13 brass darts from Target, got a 180 with those. And they're generally quite throwable. Because, again, if you look at the taper on the nose on that one, it tapers down. Even though you can't change the point, there isn't really anywhere to sort of snag on the darts or the flights when you throw them. And that really was the Achilles heel with these. In many respects, they weren't bad, and I could throw them a little bit. They were going fairly straight, and I was getting to the point where I could try to sort of do something useful with them. But unfortunately, I've never known a step like it on the front of the dart. And what was happening is every time, yes, there's no flight on this, but every time it was coming in, it was almost like every other dart seemed to be bouncing out. In fact, I'll just show you a little montage now. So you can see what a problem that was, and it's a shame because I did score quite a few sort of trebles with these, quite a few hundreds. I even got some 40s, I think, with these. And the main problem that I had was because they were so catchy and so prone to bouncing out because they were catching the other darts, that it really affected you. You almost kind of threw them with one eye closed, wincing, waiting for it to bounce out or hit another dart. And it was such a shame because what that does is it really affected my concentration. It affected my line even, and the weight and everything that I was trying to throw these, because I just felt like every time I threw one, I was just waiting for it to sort of catch on another dart, or desperately trying to, you know, not get it to hit another dart. And often, you know, as we all know as darts players, we want to use the dart really as a guide and follow them in. But with these, it was like, oh no, that one's gone where I wanted it. I better throw this one somewhere else so it doesn't bounce. And it really just took the enjoyment out. Now, I don't like to be so negative. I generally have a little go with any kind of dart. And yes, I enjoy some more than others. But unfortunately, I would say with these particular ones, that square edge on the nose, coupled with the fact that you can't put the new point on there, like a storm point or something from Target, for example, which would flare out, it really did ruin the experience for me. The rubber sort of coating has started to chip a little bit as well. I can just see the little bits glinting through underneath. That's not the end of the world. So, I mean, they were cheap, and they come with stems, come with flights, got your little checkout card, and I think on sale at the moment they're like £8.74 plus postage or something, which is ridiculously cheap. So they're not horrible darts, and if you're looking for an unusual set or a cheap set just for a bit of fun, and your grouping isn't going to be that good, and you're not particularly looking to get massively consistent at this stage, I wouldn't say no if you were looking for a really cheap set. But I think what I would do instead is actually go for a brass dart that's already, you know, got a nice ball nose on there, for example. This one comes with its stems and flights as well. Or even, like I say, something like one of these kits that again is a complete set, comes with numerous sets of flights and stems, and again has got a nice taper on there, so you can, you know, you've got less bounce outs and things with it. So the thing is, at this price point, yes, they're cheap, but I think there are equally, well, not equally good, they're probably better darts for your money, even at this really low price point. So I just wanted to sort of share that experience, really. You know, if you're looking for something a bit unusual on display, a bit fun, you can have a bit of a throw with, they're not horrible darts. They can fly nicely, they can fly nice and straight, but beware that half the time you visit, you know, one of them might end up on the floor. So just a cautionary tale there, really. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today. So thanks very much for watching. Do check out our other videos. Please do subscribe as well. We're only a tiny channel. We've got all sorts of stuff coming up. So thanks again for watching. You guys stay safe, and we'll be back soon. All the best. Bye bye.